Back again, looking at problem 628. 628 is kind of the classic example of activity-based costing and what using it can mean to calculating the costs of various activities within your business or organization. This is a great example. It's a medical facility. And before activity-based costing became a thing, they would have done what question 1 in this problem is asking you, and that is, it's essentially saying, it's giving you all the pieces of cost, the technician labor, depreciation, materials, and then telling you that for this question to allocate overhead based on the technician's direct labor. So in this example, if you look at the numbers here, you can see the various categories of overhead: admin, maintenance, sanitation, down here, sanitation, utilities. You've got total overhead here, which goes up here, and they're asking you to allocate it based on technician direct labor. So hopefully you can do that. That's something that you should have picked up in chapter 4. But when they move to the second question now, it becomes different. Now we're employing activity-based costing. And basically, they use the word of disaggregation, which is a word that is, it's an expensive word. But basically, we're just breaking it down into smaller pieces. And so now we're going to allocate, rather than just allocating on a unit cost, you're going to allocate administrative costs using a cost driver, maintenance costs using a cost driver, sanitation costs using a cost driver, and utilities using a cost driver, all of which are different. And so basically, rather than having one unit cost like you had in the top, you're going to have 4 unit costs. So when you allocate these costs in question 2, you're going to have 4 different numbers within each department or within each activity. So x-rays, you're going to allocate admin, maintenance, sanitation, and utilities costs, and the same with ultrasound. And what comes is a much more accurate and finely pointed allocation of those costs. You have these check figures to use. You should allocate $20,000 of admin, $250 of maintenance, $252 of sanitation, and $151 of utilities. Do it in Excel. It gets confusing. If you don't, frankly, you can do it like I did on paper here if you can keep all this straight. But basically, that's the difference between question 1 and 2, and that's the difference between unit costs and activity-based costing.